Good evening, everybody. Today I'm going to be sharing a short message with you guys on the beauty of being gracefully broken and the power of a woman. First, I'd like to share a bit about myself. My name is Jaleel Kivido. I am 17 years old. I am the youngest of two girls. I am a matric student and I am the youngest member of Uniting Worshippers as of currently. You guys have probably seen me. If you have been following our journey, you guys have probably seen me and my amazing co-host Amber Lottering doing the hype ups and the advertisement for this series that we as Uniting Worshippers are doing. You guys will be seeing a whole lot more of us, but we decided we are going to surprise you guys and just do our own individual videos just so you guys can get to know us and get to know our messages. So, as I said, I'm going to be speaking about the beauty of being gracefully broken and the power of a woman. So, firstly, I'd like to speak about being gracefully broken. To me, that is one of the biggest gifts that somebody can receive, and also one of the biggest gifts that God has given us, rather, let me say. When in the beginning, well, let me say since 2018 all the way through to 2020, I was going through a very, very dark time in my life. I became one of the statistics of being a depressed teen. I suffered from depression, anxiety, and PTSD. And along with that came obviously your insomnia and your headaches and stuff like that. And I was carrying a lot of anger inside of me and a lot of sadness and uncertainty, and all of this manifested inside of me, and I became this hollow shell of a person. I was investing in a lot of temporary people and a lot of people that weren't necessarily good for my well-being, and a lot of things also that weren't good for my well-being, and just to have that feeling of stability in my life, that feeling of love, that feeling of wanting to be loved, because I did not have love for myself. Then I met these amazing group of people. Shout out to Uniting Worshippers. I met them, and specifically the women of Uniting Worshippers. They explained to me what it is, and they came with me on my journey and helped me experience and were there for me when I was experiencing the grace of being gracefully broken. I'd like to explain it in an analogy of when you have a chain. It's a very beautiful chain, but sometimes your chains get tangled and they become this ball, and you get this, you can't untangle them, and you have this ball of, it's something great, that this chain is so beautiful, and you know what the capability of this chain is, but you yourself, you can't untangle it, and you don't want to give it to anybody because you don't trust people with that chain. So you hold on to the chain, and you hold on to it, and the more you hold on to it, the more you tangle it, and the more this ball just becomes bigger and bigger, and your chain is just tangled. And sometimes God is speaking to you and saying to you, give me the chain. And we have become so comfortable sometimes in our hurt and in our uncertainty and in our sadness that we don't want to give it off because we are comfortable in being with the sadness. We have become content in being with all of this hurt and this pain that we don't want to give it to God. So when I met these amazing people, when I met Uniting Worshippers, they told me, give the chain to God. Give the chain to God. And I was very hesitant. I am very hard-headed. Anybody that knows me knows I'm very hard-headed and I'm stubborn. And I didn't want to give the chain to God. I didn't. And they said, give the chain to God. And I eventually, after a lot of fights, I gave the chain to God, and God gave it back to me as my chain. And not only did He give it back to me as my chain, God plated it with gold. God added a cross, a diamond cross. God fixed the little latch that was broken. God carved my chain and melted my chain, and He gave it to me He gave it back to me better than I ever thought He would. And that is what the Lord did to my soul. I was in such a dark place, and the Lord said, give me your soul. And I said, okay. After a lot of fight, I gave the Lord my soul, and He screwed the light bulb in, the light bulb of joy, and He cleaned out all the sadness, the dust particles of sadness and uncertainty, and He opened the window and let in happiness and fresh air, and there was light again, and He made my mind a nice place for me to be in again. And I've never been so grateful for somebody or something in my life. And I feel like sometimes we underestimate the power of God breaking us gracefully. So that is just a bit about my story about being gracefully broken. To move on to the power of a woman. As I mentioned, the women of Uniting Worshippers are powerful women. Amy Lottering, Tremaine Jacobs. These women have shown me what it is to be young but also still serve the Lord. Have faith and power in what you do for God. I'm so blessed to know them, but also I come from a very powerful woman. And whenever somebody says, show me the reason you know God exists, I will show them a picture of my mother, Lizette Kivido, because there is not a mountain that my mother won't cross. There is not something that my mother won't do. There's nothing my mother is not capable of. Everything my mother does, she does it so beautifully, and she does it strongly. I don't know if that's the word, strongly, yeah. And she does it with the right intent, and everything she does, what I learned mostly from her is everything she does is through God and with God. In the Bible, they speak about, specifically Proverbs 31 verse 25, they speak about she is strong and respected and not afraid of the future. When I read this verse, I thought exactly about my mother. You will never find my mom stressing unnecessarily about the future when she knows God has got it. So that is also a very important message that I'd like to share with you guys tonight is your future may seem uncertain. You may not know what you are holding on to, but we serve a God that built the mountains and built the seas and the sky, and then still looked at you and had the time to carve you and said, this is gonna be a strong woman, and I'm gonna put my grace in her, and I am going to put my image in her, because she is mine, and I will protect her through everything. So tonight I just want to leave you guys with one of my favorite Bible verses, and a lot of people may say it's a very overused Bible verse, but I got this from my grandmother. It's one of her favorite Bible verses. So I just like to share it with you guys. One more time, even if you've heard it 5 million times, the word of the Lord is never overfed. So it's Psalms 121, verse 1, where it says, I will look to the mountains. Where will my help come from? My help will come from the Lord who made heaven and earth. So I just want to leave you guys with that tonight, and I hope you guys enjoyed my message. Please make sure to like this video, share this video, like the Uniting Worshippers page, comment, and I hope you all have a blessed evening further, and may tomorrow be even more blissful, and may you take something from my video. I share this with love and light. Good night.